Alrighty then. So today I wanted to talk to you a bit about copyright and why you can't use any video you want in your video projects, client videos, YouTube, what sort of things happen to those videos, and the sort of alternatives that you have so that you can find music that will suit those videos and not cause you any problems. If this does help you out, please consider subscribing. It helps me out. We're not even at 100 subscribers yet. But yeah, now let's get into the video. So copyright is basically when someone's created something and they've made a piece of music, a piece of art, or a video, you know, and they basically put a copyright on it, which means that it's theirs and that no one else can claim that it's theirs, and that they get all the kind of revenue from that, and it's basically so that no one can nick the stuff that they've made. Now this sort of explains why when you use any piece of music on YouTube, you will get not necessarily a punishment, but you know, it won't work for you. You'll get demonetized or whatever. Now this doesn't mean that you can use any song as long as you credit the person. That doesn't give you any special rights. What you do need is you need permission, a license in other words. Basically it allows you to use that music in certain conditions, but they've given you permission to do that through a license or through, you know, a contract or whatever. This is why it's kind of difficult though when you're a small YouTuber or you want to make some like client videos or something. You can go out and search, get a permission from a big brand that makes music or something, but one, that's a lot of hassle. Two, you've got to contact the publisher and the record label to get permission from both parties, because the record label is in control of the piece and the publisher is in control of like the words and the theme and stuff like that. You've got to contact both of them and get permission from both of them to be able to use that music in your video. Something that I've heard before is that by changing the pitch or changing the speed, you know, YouTube won't be able to recognise it as that piece of music, and the truth is it does still. The computers are quite smart. It will still recognise it as that piece of music and flag it up. All it does really is just make your music sound stupid. On that note, the other thing that I've heard is that as long as you're not making money from it, then you're fine. No, that doesn't make any difference. It's like going to like Elon Musk or something and just taking his Tesla and saying, oh yeah, well, I'm crediting you, like I'm not making any money from showing this Tesla in the video. But to him, that makes absolutely no difference, right? You're not giving him any extra traction because everyone knows what a Tesla is. And you know, just because you're not making money from the video doesn't mean you can just go and steal his Tesla, because you know, it just doesn't work like that, does it? People often just ignore it and will upload anything to YouTube as the music or backing track for their video. A few things will happen in this case. So one, your video can just be demonetized. So basically YouTube says, like, you know, you've used that, you know, it's not great, so what we've done is you can't make any money from it, but your video will stay up as usual, and you know, that's the kind of only repercussions you'll get with that video. What can also happen in this case is that the video will stay monetized, but you'll have to share the revenue with the musician who created the music in the first place, keeping your video up, but maybe you lose half of the monetization basically. Secondly, it can be blocked or not viewable in certain regions, or not available at all, which means you kind of lose your video. But if it gets blocked in certain regions, then those sort of places won't be able to watch that video. This may not be a massive deal when they're sort of blocked in certain regions, but if it gets blocked altogether, you basically lose your video. It just gets taken down. Thirdly, if it picks up a certain part of your video that has a copyrighted music, or if it's the whole thing that has copyrighted music, it can mute that section, or if your whole video is copyrighted music, it can mute the whole video, which means that, yeah, it just removes the audio. If that's just a little 1 or 2 second clip, that can be alright, unless you're trying to like specifically use that, but if it's the whole video, then you've just pretty much lost the entire audio. Or fourthly, the worst thing that can possibly happen is that you get a copyright strike. YouTube basically goes, nah, this is not good, we're taking your video down and we're giving you a copyright strike. I'm not too knowledgeable on copyright strikes. All I know is that if you get 3, your whole channel gets taken down, and that like 1 copyright strike will get, I think it takes a little while, and after a little while it will get taken off. But still, you just really don't want to get copyright strikes, because it is risky, because you could like lose your entire YouTube channel. If you're doing a client video or a video for a business, it's even worse. Like, you could get a lawsuit by the music company or the record label or something against your company for doing this advert. If it's a massive advert, let's say like Nike did a commercial, then the lawsuit would be huge and you could lose a lot of money. So it's really not worth doing it with something like that, or even just with anyone in general. What is more likely to happen to smaller freelancers and stuff, your brand will be damaged because of negative feedback from clients that learn that you've actually used copyrighted music. It is illegal when you've pretty much just made a product for a company saying that, this is all fine, giving it to them so they could face a lawsuit, and then you could get a load of backlash because you've just pretty much given them like a bomb. So instead, you have to use something that's either royalty free or has no copyright. This normally means you have to get a license for it so that you can use it in your video or in your client project, which does normally involve you having to pay. But there are some non-copyright music sites such as the YouTube audio library. So if you're uploading a video to YouTube, you have lots of different copyright-free music on there. Or just looking up non-copyright music, and there's various sites and YouTube channels that do non-copyright music. Just make sure that you check it is actually non-copyright. But that is sort of your options for free. However, there isn't a lot around, and it's not very good, and it may not really fit in to what you're trying to do with your video. There are a few gems, however, that you can find in the middle of these massive sites of just trash. But if it doesn't really mind you that much and just a little bit of background music, yeah, go for it. You might find something that's all right. But you're kind of risking it a little bit. There's not going to be a huge amount. So something that is more royalty free that you can get a license for that you have to pay, they're really, really good. You can get a good subscription for something like Epidemic Sound or Music Bed for like £10 per month for a creator. So you get your YouTube channel and your Instagram cleared, so that when YouTube flags it up, it will say no, it's good. We know they paid. So you get access to their whole library of royalty-free music, and you can just use that for your YouTube or Instagram videos. These sites also work for client videos, but then again you have to get maybe more specific license out for that. But for Epidemic Sound, at least, I know there's a creator license which is more expensive, like £50 per month. But you can use that for freelance projects and various things like that. There's other sites like Artlist, which you can get a license specifically for certain projects, or just get a subscription plan again. But these can be a bit more expensive, but sometimes better as well, so you can explore that avenue as well. So overall, it is quite a difficult thing to navigate. There are different types of copyright, like the Creative Commons licenses and stuff that you have, which means that you could potentially use various types of music in your video. But that is a bit more complicated, so I'll explain that in a later video. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, I would recommend sticking with these kind of things that are definitely copyright free, or things that you've kind of paid for, because at that point you're in the clear, that's all legal, and you're fine. So thank you guys for watching, hope that was helpful for you guys. Check out this other video about editing in Premiere Pro. It's the shortest editing in Premiere Pro tutorial that I have seen on the internet. It's 2 minutes long, and the actual tutorial bit itself is only 1 minute and 40 seconds. I recommend you check that out because it is super useful. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your editing.